BBMP, or the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike, which has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. This time, the BBMP contractors have refused to take on new tenders in the city. Their grouse: the civic body is yet to pay them over 2,000 crore rupees for all the civic work they undertook over the last 2 years. Amita Balachandra has all the details on that front. Listen in.
Well, time and again, the civic body of Bengaluru, BBMP, or the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike, has been pulled up for being cash-strapped, for not having enough funds. Now, this time around, BBMP contractors have a bigger problem. BBMP has not paid them 2,000 crore rupees for all the civic works that were conducted between April 2013 and November 2015. Now, when we spoke to members of Contractors Association in Bengaluru, they did tell us that they have approached the commissioner of BBMP, but there has been no response from them so far. That's one. Second, they've also told us that new tenders for projects will not be taken up if BBMP does not pay up. Now, the association points out 5 key affected areas when it comes to bad infrastructure itself in Bengaluru. We're talking about Whitefield first, which we have brought up on Magic Bricks now time and again, where citizens have gone ahead and protested against the state government and in fact demanded for better infrastructure. That's one. Second, of course, is KR Puram, which is the heart of the city. It has a city market. Then comes Tumkur Road, Mysore Road, Madiwala, all of where key projects are being taken up. But remember, here when we talk about key projects, we're not talking about bigger projects which are underway in Bengaluru, but we're talking about smaller ones like filling up potholes or tarring roads, maintaining roads. Now, these are some of the projects that are very, very critical in order to be able to facilitate bigger projects that the state government has mandated.
And to give us more perspective on this, we are being joined by Shrikant from Janagraha right here live on Magic Bricks now. Shrikant, thank you so much for being with us. Talk to us. Do you think this is adding to Bangalore's infrastructure woes? What is your view?
Yes, this will obviously add to Bangalore's infrastructure woes. But at the root of this problem is a lack of revenues at the BBMP. And clearly the solution does not lie with the BBMP itself, BBMP alone, but it is something which needs to be solved by both the state government and the BBMP together on 2 fronts. On one hand, clearly the BBMP for its service obligations, the BBMP's budget is totally inadequate. It needs larger sources of revenues, and that is something that the state government needs to devolve to the BBMP. And secondly, there also needs to be, better quality of financial management systems and processes, some of which again relate to the kind of rules and regulations that apply to the BBMP, which again is something that the state and the BBMP will need to work together on. Unless these two aspects are solved, whatever short-term measures you may take, whatever band-aids you may fix to the problem of lack of funds will remain.
Shrikant, going forward, if projects are stalled, how is that going to impact the city's infrastructure? That is the big concern. I mean, the infrastructure is already inadequate and whatever is there is already crumbling. This is set to pose even a bigger threat to the city's infrastructure going forward as well, right? Certainly, there will be an impact. The problem also is, in some sense, you could say that the government, both the governments and citizens, need to be cognizant that there are certain bitter pills that need to be swallowed, right? And what I mean by this is, while certain short-term projects are critical and crucial and need to be taken up and expedited, there are certain other behind-the-scenes work that needs to be done by government, which may not show visible results to citizens in the short term, but which will strengthen the institution, which in turn can deliver better results. And an example of that is financial management. So for instance, in the last 6 to 8 months, we do know that certain specific measures have been taken towards better transparency, better accountability, and financial management systems on the BBMP, albeit early steps. I'm not saying that enough has been done, but there have been steps taken in the positive direction. But however, those will not yield immediate results. It's going to take at least I'm not saying this based on any study, but in my reckoning, it will at least take between 2 and 5 years for the BBMP's financial management position to turn around. And that's not something which has been caused today. It's been caused by several years of neglect of financial management.
Absolutely. Shrikant, so what should the BBMP do now? I mean, financial management is the biggest problem because at the end of the day, all of this means that Bengaluru is going to bear the brunt. Citizens are clearly not happy with this. What is the solution? What does the BBMP need to do now to fix it?
No, it's not which is what I mentioned earlier, that I think the state government has a larger role to play.
Okay.
Because it needs to create a 3-year roadmap or a 5-year roadmap of strengthening the BBMP's financial position. Some of it may have to be in the form of immediate short-term relief. But in my view, the more important substantive reform will be in the medium term, which is strengthen the BBMP's financial position. And that has two parts to it. One is making sure that the BBMP has access to larger pool of revenues, which the state needs to devolve to it. And the second is to make sure that the BBMP is able to, to produce data and MIS reports which demonstrate that it's accountable for those funds.
All right, Shrikant, thank you so much for joining us live here on the news and Magic Bricks Now and sharing your views with us. We're not letting it go. We also have the General Secretary of the Association, Ravindra, joining us live on Magic Bricks Now. So, Ravindra, thank you so much for being with us here on the news. Talk to us, how bad is the situation on the ground? Tell us whether you have approached the BBMP. What are they telling you at this point in time?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Ravindra, if you can hear me.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
BBMP is presently the finance crisis is there, actually. Since from 2 years, they are not receiving the payment. The present situation is government is giving funds for major works only. Small works, they are not doing anything nowadays. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Please.
Are you hearing, sir?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Please go ahead, sir.
That is the problem. Present, since 2 years means 24 months, they are not clearing the payments. But also now they are, last time we met with Commissioner, he is telling we are actually calling some tenders, you apply like that. Definitely we are not going to apply that tenders. Because
you will not be taking up new tenders going forward. You will not be taking up new tenders going forward.
Definitely we are not participating in the tender.
Okay.
Because of lack of funds. This is the situation, present situation. But government is supporting, definitely. But on bigger, that means projects only they are doing. Roads, this thing, present they are concentrating only roads, potholes, roads. In ward-wise, they are not paying the funds. And from BBMP, they are collecting the taxes. That is only for repaying this interest and salaries they are compensating. For works, there is no fund.
Okay. Ravindra, tell us, what is your plan of action going forward from here? Now that this has become such a big issue.
You are so many times you are met with Commissioner, Mayor and in-charge Minister, Mr. George. They are giving assurance. They are definitely giving from government. They are asking for government. Definitely they are coming. They are telling like that since from around 3-4 months. Another 1 month we are seeing. After that we are going to strike. Already once we did once last week. I think you know that.
Yes. So
we are going to agitate.
All right, Ravindra.
No
all right, Ravindra. I can understand what you're going through at this point in time. Thank you so much for taking time out to join us here on the news here on Magic Bricks Now.